Have you seen those? You've seen those memes, like when I catch Baby Yoda?
You mean the one where they cook him?
Yeah. When I catch Baby Yoda. How good is it? See? Yeah.
Will it blend? That is the question.
Guys.
Mando, so we did Witcher, okay? There was no Baby Yoda in Witcher. Very disappointing.
Very disappointing. That's why we only gave it 6.5. Didn't have enough Yoda.
Needs more Baby Yoda. But Mando does have Baby Yoda, okay? Ralph, do you want to jump in there?
No, I'm gonna let you hang.
Okay, he's gonna let me hang, everybody. We just finished, well, I finished it a little bit before, but we thought, you know what? Let's go and do a full review of the Mando series. Let's get into it.
This is not actually available yet in like the UK. People have to fly to America each week to watch episodes of Mandalorian.
I thought that was only us that had to do that.
Yeah, no. Well, actually, Disney Plus is in Australia. I thought you pirated it.
No, did you?
No.
Guys, pirating is bad. Disney needs the money.
I actually didn't pirate it because we do have Disney Plus.
I got Disney
and it's like
Plus.
a free trial or whatever, so I just smashed through it.
I know, 7 days. I'm like, quickly watch it all.
Mandalorian came out. I actually went into it with, I wouldn't say low expectations, but very like medium expectations, because I'd heard that it was kind of just, all right, there's the Mandalorian, he's traveling through space, he has some adventures, he has Baby Yoda under his arm, that's it. And I was like, well, that sounds okay, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it a little bit. Turns out I actually really loved this, despite the fact that it's not swinging for the fences with the ridiculous over-the-top craziness and production values and whatever. It worked for me really well.
Yeah, I think that Star Wars, especially the last, you know, the three of them plus the Han Solo and the Rogue, it's always big, you know? Maybe Rogue One was the smallest one of it, but it was all like, it was always reaching for a big, massive battle and this and that. This was a lot more intimate. It's about, you know, a cast of very small characters, really centered around one or two, and then the other ones might just swing back and forth into the story. It's very different from what we've seen with other Star Wars kind of stories, you know? So I was very pleasantly surprised to sit back and go, cool, it's not trying to be big, so the expectation is naturally a lot lower. And I think because of that, it's landed very well with everybody. Especially off the back of every Star Wars movie that's ever come out in the last 10 years, apart from maybe Rogue One, being horrendous. So a lot of people are like, this is going to be bad, but it hasn't been bad.
I mean, I don't think Force Awakens was horrendous. I
don't
don't even think Last Jedi was horrendous. I just think it had lots of problems, but The Rise of Skywalker was
other
fucking...
reviews, okay? And Ralph will be proven
I will
wrong.
tell you what exactly. Anyway, we're not gonna re-examine The Last Jedi, but Rise of Skywalker, holy shit, that was bad. Anyway, look, I think, yeah, you're right. I think the intimacy is really what makes this. And as I'm watching it, it immediately took me back to the Firefly days. Sam hasn't seen Firefly.
I've not seen that.
But, like, fantastic show. Like, Joss Whedon, very ill-fated. It had all of these factors going against it, like its time slot and the amount of promo it got from, like, I think it was on Fox or whatever. It was doomed to fail from the start. And either way, it just got this massive cult following because it had this crew of people that just went from planet to planet. They had little sort of like intimate adventures. The interactions between all the characters were really strong and really well written. And that's all you need for a good sort of like character drama.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
And, you know,
or serial, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and the internet has forever continuously said Firefly's coming back, or Firefly's doing a movie, or there's always been something.
No, they haven't. They did a movie once. And
I've
then that
seen
was
that heaps of times of like some like little glimmer of hope that it's coming back.
Sure.
But you know, I think this. Okay, I don't think audiences have seen something like this for some time. It does go back to like the old Western days, where like some guy would swing into town and be like, "Well, I'm going to show you that I'm the boss," you know, and like had a little moment there in a little town. It was own little world, and then it continued to another little world or in another little town.
And you can even hear that in the soundtrack. Like it's very Western inspired.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's very often they're doing the whole like little.
This planet ain't big enough for the two of us.
Yeah, because that's the soundtrack, Sam. That's exactly the soundtrack.
That is the soundtrack.
Nice, Sam. Nice.
Okay.
So look, I appreciate that a lot. Can I just say as well, the ending credits? I watch every one of those ending credits.
Very incredible.
They're so good. That I don't know if that artwork came before the show was shot or after. But like, I just love watching the renditions of the scenes you've just seen with that awesome song playing, and you're like, damn, that was a cool episode.
Yeah.
I love that moment when that happened.
I think it's cool because they really show that there's a lot of love and care behind those scenes. If you're really drawing, if you're really kind of illustrating that, I like to see that there's either been a lot of thought before or after you want to demonstrate that in another kind of artistic format. I think it's really cool.
Sure.
I do think it's probably a mixture of like, some of the illustrations look like it's before some of the characters were cast, like the Zarya-looking girl, whatever her name is.
Zarya-looking girl. Because she's a female that's slightly large.
No, but she's muscly, she's got that big gun. Come on,
she's
guys.
She's an MMA fighter?
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, that's how she pulls it off so well.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, look, I mean, so some of the things I've seen, and I'm like, whoa, that doesn't look like anything of the character, and then there's other concept art that look very much like that character.
Do you know the little alien dude was Nick Nolte? I have spoken.
No.
That's Nick Nolte!
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? He does such a good job.
Oh,
totally
crazy.
nails it.
Yeah. Do you know that Baby Yoda was actually Danny DeVito?
As for the actual Mandalorian's performance, I liked it. I mean, I don't know. I forget the actor's name, but I like
he's the guy
him.
of Game of Thrones. He's
Yeah,
the one.
he was Oberon or whatever.
Exactly, the guy that was dancing around and shit and just like, that's all I remember him for.
I like his voice. I don't know if he's the man in the suit in every scene, like with all the fighting scenes
it's
or whatever.
hard to know, isn't it?
It's hard to know, but like I like what he's doing, even though it's not doing much. And I guess that's kind of the point. I really like what they're doing with the Mandalorian like lore and the story behind it. This group of these sort of like Spartans who are sort of like, in exile and trying to survive, and they've got this like tradition behind them. And anytime it really dug into that, I was like, yeah, give me more of this, baby. This is so good.
Kind of felt John Wick at moments, like this little
absolutely.
Do you know?
Yeah, totally John Wick.
Yeah,
like the guild. I actually thought exactly that.
Yeah.
I was like, when they were forging his armor and stuff, I'm like, this is just John Wick with his mallet, getting the sledgehammer, getting his guns out of the thing. God, that was a good scene.
Yeah.
Still one of the best fucking scenes ever.
And it got progressively worse, those films. But anyway, look, I do like what they've done with The Mandalorian. I think it's, again, going back to an old school character, especially in like the 50s and 40s, where like, doesn't really feel much, it's like, I'm here to do
silent type.
Yeah, the Gary Cooper type, he walks in, he's not about the emotions, he's about getting the job done, and I think that, like, cool, it's great that a lot of characters today are going down new paths, but it's also good to, like, hey, let's just, let's make a character that's a bit old school. I'm cool with that.
I totally agree with that. It's definitely a reaction to... Yeah, just a different, more...
It's reaction to 2019 and the blue ticks.
And look, it's... blue check guys. It's totally fine that different things exist, obviously.
Exactly.
But this is its own thing that's like, okay, let's go back to the last action hero kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Where he's just doing the thing and he doesn't give a shit about, like, people's feelings so long as he gets his job done. He actually does have the heart of gold, of course, like, as all these heroes do, but, like, he's very determined, he's very objectives focused, and, like, no bullshit. And I just think that's great. I really like seeing that kind of character, because we haven't seen it in a while.
Definitely.
Baby Yoda, man, what can you say?
What can you
As
say?
your best actor, best supporting actor, best animatronics,
best puppeteering,
best Joker.
Best Joker?
I don't know, did you see Joaquin Phoenix's speech at the Golden Globes?
No.
It's pretty good. You should see Ricky Gervais's opening monologue.
I saw a bit of that.
God damn, that was good.
Yeah.
But look, Baby Yoda, I think... A lot of people say that The Mandalorian kind of sucks. It's just carried by Baby Yoda's cuteness. I don't agree with that, firstly. I think this show is actually pretty cool. But secondly, yeah, I mean... The cuteness factor is definitely there.
I actually thought about that a lot in terms of, like, if you take Baby Yoda out, would it be such a cultural phenomenon? I mean, Star Wars, right? Of course it's going to have a thing, but there's something about Baby Yoda, which will be studied for a millennia, of course. No, but there's something about it that really does tie in the whole thing.
Yes.
And really really brings it to the next level. I don't exactly know what that is. Well, but Baby Yoda
I feel like
was
it's a mix. I think it's a mix of comedy, so he's the comedic relief sometimes when he's doing his like thing and when he's getting the ball and
him like taking control of the ship.
We're
going back to who wanted him. Oh shit!
Funny. So it's definitely that comedy factor, but I think it's also a lot of emotional heart, and I think it grounds the Mandalorian character. It's like the sad dad thing that we're seeing everywhere now with like The Last of Us and God of War and Death Stranding and whatever else, where it's like these gruff dudes who like get sort of broken down by the need to care for a child.
Yep.
That works here as well, because the Mandalorian would obviously do anything to protect Baby Yoda.
Yep.
And that's such a contrast to his, like, I don't give a shit about anything else, I'll kill anyone I need to kill, I've got a job to do kind of persona.
It's a tried and tested model, and again, it's going back yet again to like old school ideas of, just another mechanic to get someone that's all gruff and like to feel. Okay, he's
gruff white male.
Baby Yoda's giving the feels to the gruff white male. But
that's right, IGN. We love you.
Yeah. So all in all.
So wait, hang on. Let's pause here. I want to do some spoiler stuff now. So let's do a cut here.
Are we gonna do a spoiler?
Let's just. I want to talk about 2 spoiler things.
Sure.
Okay. We'll do a cut here. If you haven't watched the show yet, turn off now. We love you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to donate to the bushfires. And if you still want to talk about spoiler stuff, stick around because I just want to talk about 2 things. Okay. Love you. Bye. Spoiler time now. So, okay, firstly, can I say, I didn't love that they took off his helmet.
I hated that.
I hated that so much.
It's like
I was so annoyed.
It's like taking off Master Chief.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what he looks like.
Yes.
It will never beat your own imagination.
Correct.
It will never beat the idea that you don't know what it is.
Such a bad move. Like, it would have been fine if they started taking off his helmet, cutscene, and then they go to the other people, so that the robot saw the face, and he knew he had to take it off for someone, but we never saw his face.
Yeah.
I don't want to see his face. I don't want him to be a person like that. I want him to be the Mandalorian.
I mean,
and I really was like, no, why did you do this? Needs to be in like the last episode of the last show. You know what I mean? Like that.
And I think that, it should have been just a big Yoda. It really should have just been a big
His
Yoda.
ears just like flop out.
Yeah. No, but I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. The actual actor that plays the character is under the helmet. I was very disappointed in that. I don't think that's necessary. Again, Master Chief, or even, Darth Vader, for instance. Like, sure, that was a really well paid off thing at the very end. But if you never took off Darth Vader's helmet, that still would have been okay, actually.
Yeah, totally,
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't about what he looked like, it was about the relationship that was forming over those 3 movies. And that's what this is about. So I agree with that. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, really? And if they were gonna do it, make it so visually shocking that you're like, whoa, okay, well, fuck, I can't not look now. Like, maybe he was a half cyborg or some shit. Or he was a Jar Jar Binks, a Gungan.
Gungan, as the guy said.
Yeah. But look, I think also... the Black Saber, very fucking cool. We have seen that before. I was watching a top 10 lightsaber colors, and that was in the cartoons.
I think he's actually...
So it's part of the lore.
Yeah, he is. That's a certain class of combatant in the Jedi, in the Star Wars lore as well. I forget the name of it, but everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's one of those dudes!" Like it's a thing.
Yeah.
I really like as well, and this is the last thing I'll say. I really like the way they handle the Jedi stuff because it's very light touch. In particular, like the last episode where they talk about this like ancient order of sorcerers that they fought. The Mandalorians fought against them. Like. You're just like, yes, give me this, this is what I want, Star Wars at the moment, the new trilogy, just like fucking dumped all this garbage on you. Everyone has all the lightning powers. Like Rey picks up a lightsaber, she's immediately the greatest Jedi that ever lived. All this shit just lays it on so thick, and it's so nice just to have it like gently sprinkled and hinted at, because that's when I think Star Wars and the Force and Jedis are best. When it's like not really spelled out to you. Midi-chlorians is the perfect example of how to fuck Star Wars. We don't want the science, we don't want the detail, we just want like the little bits that our imagination can cling to.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way Mandalorian handled that, all that stuff was perfect.
I actually diskgree with that slightly. I don't
care, shut up Sam, no one cares. Anyway, that's the episode, guys, thank you very much.
No, I don't want to hear anything about Jedis in this.
Really?
I feel like it's time for a story with Star Wars that doesn't include Jedis.
But it doesn't include Jedi, it's the Force they're talking about.
Yeah, but even then, just get away from that. Just like, there's such a giant galaxy universe to explore. It doesn't have to always tie into Jedis, I'm just excited to see more of the Mandalorian story, more of his journey. I don't want to see that the writers felt that they needed to arrive at some sort of Force or Jedi conclusion to kind of bring this into a Star Wars
world. The whole thing
is
built on Baby Yoda, and Baby Yoda only works in the context of the Force.
Sure, if Baby Yoda's a thing, I like that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we need to start introducing Jedi.
Okay, I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
I do agree with that.
So that's the only thing I hope that they go down that path of, sure, exploring Baby Yoda's story and his powers, but I don't want them to go to fucking Coruscant and shit. Like, I don't want to see
Coruscant
them...
being blown up at this point.
I don't know, you know what I
Probably.
mean? The other Jedi Council or whatever.
That's all the Jedi are gone at this point.
You know what I'm talking about, though? They'll find some way like they did with fucking Palpatine, okay?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, the whole
Jedi Council's
they're
alive!
back, you know? Mace Windu's like, hey, there you go, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow with some news, reviews, or something. Who knows? Laymen out!
Ready?